Dear participants, good evening all. Kindly fill up the registration form. Link has been shared in the chat box. After this presentation, we'll be starting today's session. If you have already registered for today's event, you can ignore it. Otherwise, kindly fill up the feedback form. It is mandatory for, for receiving certificate and to be eligible for the certificate. So every day before you join, you register for that particular day event and also participate and then provide feedback so that you can download your certificates. Thank you. Good evening, one and all. We welcome you to the International Webinar Series on Holistic Health, Well-being and Sustainable Development 2022, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 75 years of independence, and the UN Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030 as part of awareness and campaigns. In collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Arts, Sciences and Well-being. We welcome you all. Before we start our session, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with the sessions today. As usual, we know we are commemorating every day some important international national days. Today, there is no such prominence at an international level such a day, but we have few interesting national days which we will look upon, and we will briefly look at because this entire month is breastfeeding month, so we will look at how breastfeeding contributes to the sustainable development. So today we have National Franchise Appreciation Day. Basically, this is in US context, and also National Burger Day. You know how this bread, which used to be a sick man's meal, now everyone is daily consuming it, and it made all the healthy persons into the sick person. So I mean, it's sarcastically, humorously, though it is very good food, but we need to take it occasionally. When bread became part of our daily meal, we became regular customers to illness and diseases, and also to clinics and hospitals. But anyway, let's see the history of how these junk food especially started, and let's see what is its impact on the health system and also individuals' health. And as you know, today we are also commemorating this National Franchise Appreciation Day. We can see a lot of distribution channel network in all aspects, even it may be in education or health. There are a lot of franchises, outlets like taking this burger, also hamburger. You see a lot of chains having outlets across the nation, internationally. So how they are promoting, and making consumers to buy more products or services, and how these franchises are helping businesses to grow. So we will look into various aspects of that, and also, we will also look into the burger day. It is also like a sandwich, a kind of sandwich. And we will also look at the breastfeeding sustainable development goals, how it is contributing to sustainable goals. So feedback link will be provided at the end of the session. Registration form link has been shared in the chat box. So whoever has not yet registered for today's webinar can register. We'll be sharing daily the registration link as well as feedback link in the chat box, so that whoever joins without registration can register and be eligible for the certificates. Yeah, so moving on to today's commemorations. National Franchise Appreciation Day is a day to create an awareness to increase customers' knowledge of the importance of media and social media networks, and yeah. So the purpose of this day today is to create awareness to increase the customers' knowledge of the importance of using social media networks and location-based services to connect with and continue to support local franchisees. So customers will be receiving discounts and giveaways to enjoy a day in support of their favorite franchisees. So franchises will show appreciation to the customers that supports their business around. Maybe this is not widely though seen in India, but it is quite common in US. So let's look into the different aspects. So how you can uh, benefit from this is, you can on this day there are special discounts and special giveaways where one can reach and get the products and services at a discounted price. So franchisees allow entrepreneurial and business-minded individuals to set up and run their own business with all the support and buying power of an established brand. So Franchisee Appreciation Day celebrates the franchisee business model and encourages you to shop with the local franchisee. Here we need to understand franchisee business model. Those who want to venture into franchise or business for that matter, we need a product, right? A product can be anything. A product or a services which can be traded, which can be sold to a customer. And we need an established and a reputed and a quality product or a service which can be offered to the customers in this competitive world. So this quality product at an affordable price, at an accessible, price, and within the time frame is a challenge for small entrepreneurs or new budding entrepreneurs to provide and understand the mechanism of doing business. Business is not an everyone's cup of tea. You know, we need to invest a lot of time and resources, and not in over that we should be able to work, hard and also smart. Also, we need to have different kind of strategies, and we need to do very good marketing, promotion, and all these aspects are. We need to have a very good team. If it is the volume is considerately high. Otherwise, also, if it is a single entrepreneur, there is a lot more required support from different, stakeholders. So, if anyone is looking to start a business, you can, especially if you are brand conscious, then it is a very good choice, or in fact, a smart choice to go with the franchisee model initially. And also, before taking a franchisee, you also have to do a lot of research. Not just some brand is offering franchisee for free, or for a low cost, or for a price, for a huge price, which has a great demand. Also, sometimes can be a great failure. So you need to do research before getting into franchisee agreement. You need to study the market, and you need to study the demand for the product and service, and you also need to do the research about the price the customers are willing to pay, and you also need to study the competitive pricing and the kind of quality they are provided and the variety of products and services in that specific characteristics, with that specific characteristics, which makes, and there are a lot of factors, availability, and the availability of not only just the product and services, the pre-sales and post-sales support, and the service and maintenance. A lot of things are there which needs to be considered. So franchising model as such, of course, there are many different models, through which business can be taken up. But as today we are commemorating, we are focusing it. We are neither promoting it, we are neither demoting it. But we are just trying to look at this particular model to understand how they are contributing. There are many franchises who made good amount of money and many franchises who lost it. So it is up to the individuals to do proper research and get into such franchising models. So if you look at this, franchisee model, though it is not new, in fact, franchising is an ancient distribution model that dates back to ancient ages. In the Middle Ages, the local title landowner would grant his rights to the peasants or serfs, probably for a consideration to hunt or hold markets or fairs or otherwise conduct business on his domain. With these rights came rules, and these rules became part of European common law. Explain franchise. So modern day franchising is believed to have, this is relevant to Western context. So modern day franchising is believed to have started with Benjamin Franklin, who in 1731 entered into the first franchise agreement with Thomas Whitmarsh to provide printing services in Charlestown, South Carolina in the early 1850s. Isaac M. Singer again looked to the franchising model to distribute the Singer sewing machines, but it would be another century after Singer before franchising would become truly popular, thanks to Ray Kroc and his discovery of McDonald's hamburger stand. See, today is coincidentally the burger day also. the initial franchisee business or a model as such in Western context has started through sewing machines and hamburger, McDonald's famous uh, product, hamburger stand. And today there are thousands of franchises across hundreds of industries and sectors. As of 2018, the franchise industry employed 21 million people and generated $2.3 trillion of economic activity, according to a US government report. So franchising has contributed greatly to the overall US economy and has proven to be a lucrative avenue for those who seek both freedom and financial stability. But what exactly is a franchise? Are there different types of franchise models? How does it all work? And owning a franchisee is right for you? These are all lot of queries, we have. So let's look into briefly about this. So what is a franchisee? A franchise is a type of business that is operated by individuals known as franchisee using the trademark, branding and business model of a franchise. So in this business model, there is a legal and commercial relationship between the owner of the company, that is franchisor, and the individual, the franchisee. In other words, franchisee is licensed to use the franchisor's trade name and operating systems. In exchange for the rights to use the franchisor's business model to sell the product or service and be provided with training, support, and operational instructions, the franchisee pays a franchisee fee known as royalty to the franchisor. So the franchisee must also sign a contract, also known as franchisee agreement, agreeing to operate in accordance with the terms specified in the contract. So a franchisee assembly acts as an individual branch of the franchisee company. So the franchisee or is an individual who buys the rights to sell the products or services and utilize the proven and established business systems mentioned above. Although the franchisee is in essence buying a pre-established business, franchisees must work hard in order to gain loyalty in their market, attract talent and grow their franchisee business. After all, it is the franchisee that runs the day-to-day business. So the franchisor is the parent company that sells the rights to franchise their brand to prospective franchises. The franchisor is one who has developed the company, brand, and operating systems. Upon the decision of franchisee, their business, the franchisor offers franchisees the rights to their proven business model, recognizable trademark, established business systems, and their training and support. So the franchisor-franchisee relationship should be one built upon mutual respect, understanding, and a support. Of course, as with all relationships, no two are the same. Although relationships between franchisee and franchisor will differ from band to band, and one thing always remains the same is the franchisee and franchisor relationship matters. So when a franchisee is serious about franchise opportunity, the franchisor will share franchisee disclosure document, also known as in short FDD, which holds imperative information about bankruptcies, various fees, franchisee obligations, and more. And for interested and serious buyers, some franchises offer financing programs that can assist franchisees in finding a loan servicer or an alternative methods of payment. And if the franchisee requires a physical location, usually the franchisor will assist in site selection as well as finding a local contractor to construct the approved architecture. Franchises also provide franchisees with an operating manual and in-person or online training to understand how the business runs. The operating manual includes all the roles of employees, performance standards, management operations, and other specifications. The training trends to take place either at the franchise's corporate headquarters or a combination of online and in-person training. Franchises also supply their franchisees with marketing and advertising. This could be through television and radio ads or through social media and email campaigns and others. Franchisees are usually charged a marketing fee to cover this cost. Some franchises also lend administrative services for their franchisees, like the human resources and accounting services. As the franchisee gets their business up and running, there are bound to be questions and concerns that arise. The franchisor will provide varying levels of support throughout the life of a franchisee agreement. Not to mention, franchisee also have access to the entire network of fellow franchisees who may be able to offer advice or offer you a solution to a common problem. So, as we have seen, types of franchising, there are two primary franchise business models. One is product distribution franchisee and business format franchise. Of course, there are different even other models as well. So the product distribution franchisee model, the franchisor manufactures the product and franchisee sells the product. This relationship is similar to the supplier dealer relationship with a few differences. One major difference is that in the franchisee relationship, the franchisee may distribute the products on an exclusive or semi-exclusive basis, where a supplier-dealer relationship may allow the dealer to sell several different brands at once. Examples of a product distribution franchisee include Coca-Cola, John Deere, or Ford Motor Company, etc. So business format franchisee is the most common franchisee model. In this model, the franchisee is allowed to use the brand and trade name of the franchisor, like in the product distribution model. But there are also granted access to the product distribution models. Most of the franchisees that immediately come to mind, like Wendy's, Dunkin' Donuts, and McDonald's, are business format franchises. So there are different types of ownership also in this franchisee ownership. They are single unit franchisee, multi-unit franchisee, multi-unit area developers, master franchise. So when let's look into single unit franchise. When a franchise purchases their first franchise, they are considered a single unit franchise. This is most common form of franchisee ownership, where individuals purchase the franchise. And multi-unit franchises find success with their first franchisee venture, and they may soon choose or opt to open up a second, third, or even fourth, or so on, from the same franchisor. When the franchisee owns one or more than one franchisee unit, they are considered to be a multi-unit owner. Multi-unit area developers are similar to multi-unit franchisees, except that they agree upfront to develop a certain number of franchisee locations within a specified time period and area. This approach is best for the franchisees who are looking for market exclusivity and have the resource to secure that exclusivity with the franchisor. And master franchisee is very similar to multi-unit area developer in that they are obligated to open a certain number of locations in the specified time and period and area. The difference is that master franchisee is also able and sometimes obligated to sell franchises to other prospective franchisees. The master franchisee then acts as a middleman for the franchisee and the franchise company. So let's look into what's the difference between licensing and franchising. So when we are looking at franchising options, one common area of confusion for prospective franchisees is understanding the difference between franchising and licensing. So licensing is a broad term that business use for contracting purposes. Licensing gives the license a right to operate in cooperation with the brand, gaining access to the brand's intellectual property, brand design, and business programs. In exchange, the licensee pays royalty fees to the licensor. The licensor may have to say in how the intellectual property is used, but not how the license operates their business. A licensor will grant a licensee the right to use their intellectual property, but the licensor will not provide support or training or exert any control over how the licensee uses the intellectual property. So a franchisee, on the other hand, is a legal and commercial relationship between the owner of the company, the franchisor, and the individual, the franchisee, who is starting a branch of that business using the business trademark logos and business model. Essentially, a franchise is an independent branch of a franchise company. The franchisee sells the product or service that the franchisor supplies. So let's look into different difference between franchisee opportunity and business opportunity. So another common area of confusion is franchisee opportunity versus business opportunity. While at the first they may sound very similar, but there are some major differences. For instance, a franchise opportunity includes the licensing of trademark rights, offers robust training and operational assistance throughout the life of contract, and can often cost more than a business opportunity due to ongoing required fees. While all business opportunities are different, can be hard to define. The main difference is that typically when someone pursues a business opportunity, they are unlikely to receive the same level of support, training, or guidance that a franchisee receives from their franchisor. And not all franchises are created equal. There are thousands of franchising opportunities for eager entrepreneurs who see the equal appeal or who see the appeal in the franchising model. However, not all franchises are smart investments. That's why it is important for prospective franchisees to do research the opportunities they are interested in to help the prospective buyers find the opportunities each year. Franchise business review surveys thousands of franchises across hundreds of brands. Based on this research, they are able to determine the best franchisee opportunities on the market today based on 100% on franchisee satisfaction. So even in India, franchisee India, there is lot of shows organized, and there are similar such other organizations and events also. They do organize lot of these franchise in almost all metro cities across the nation, to help prospective franchisees or entrepreneurs, budding entrepreneurs, to reach them. And there is a one, a kind of market like no one place where one-stop solution where the different franchises come, and prospective buyer or prospective entrepreneur can talk to them and interact with them and get information before so that he can gain insights, he or she can gain insights and move on, take a wise decision, informed decision. So this is in brief about franchisee day. So if you have any queries, you can ask. Otherwise, we'll move on to the next commemoration. You can use chat box. If you have any queries, you can put in. Then next we'll go on to our next commemoration, that is Burger Day. So National Burger Day is held annually in August on the Thursday before the bank holiday weekend. So this year it takes place on August 25th, and burgers are convenient fast food and delicious to eat. A burger can be made in a variety of ways and served with different toppings to suit the taste of one eating it. This is why It is the most liked foods and appreciated and enjoyed by so many. To celebrate this National Burger Day was created by Mr. Hyde, a daily email service targeted at men that featured lifestyle content. The closest thing resembling a burger was first made in 1st century AD in Rome. This was a ground minced meat dish prepared with pine nuts, peppers, and flavorings of wine and garum. It took 12 more centuries for the meat to be tenderized and eaten on the go in the 13th century AD by the Mongols. They were known to fierce horsemen who used to impress fighting tactics to win any war. Known for their efficiency and smarts, they carried thick slabs of meat tucked under their saddles that became tenderized during their day's riding, and so that can be consumed easily by the rider. Then in 1747, a hamburger prototype called Hamburg sausage appeared in the Hannah's glasses. The art of cookery made plain and easy. She writes of a smoked sausage made of ground meat, pepper, cloves, nutmeg, garlic, vinegar, salt, and red wine to be served on toast. By 1802, the Oxford English Dictionary includes an entry for a Hamburg steak, a salted minced ground meat slightly cooked and mixed with onions and breadcrumbs. So it is believed that years later, at the 1885 Erie Country Fair in Hamburg, New York, brothers Frank and Charles Menches, who were running a traveling concession stand, invented the burger. The, they ran out of meat sausages, and started putting ground up meat on their sandwiches, creating a burger. In the same year, at the Seymour Fair in Wisconsin, 15-year-old Charlie Negrin squashed meatballs between the slices of bread so that people could eat the sandwich easily while walking. Then in 1891, to celebrate the 4th of July, Oscar Weber Bibli and his wife Fanny made the first family grilled meat patties and served them between a bun. So in 1921, in Wichita, Kansas, a cook Walter Anderson and entrepreneur Billy Ingram opened their first restaurant and changed the course of hamburger history with their design, cooking, and method of serving. In 1948, the McDonald brothers started making hamburgers in California and became the largest food chain in the world. In 1953, in Florida, Burger King was established, which became the biggest challenger to the McDonald's. So this is the brief history and how this has emerged. You know? And people across UK and US, visit these joints like McDonald's, Burger King, and Wendy's to celebrate National Burger Day. And they also offer good deals today. So hamburger name stems from Hamburg, Germany. Hamburg steaks were introduced into the US by immigrants from Hamburg, Germany, and they opened restaurants in the US. It was difficult to eat the steak placed between two slices of bread, leading to the creation of hamburger sandwich. Almost 50 billion burgers are consumed every year in the US, and close to 60% of all sandwiches sold all over the world are actually hamburgers. In 1921, the first hamburger was sold in a restaurant for 5 cents. And if all burgers eaten by Americans were to be arranged in a line, it would circle globe 32 times. So this is, the basics of history of Hamburger Day. And, let's briefly look into what happens, when you eat this, the other side of burgers. See, there is no doubt that the burgers are tasty and people across all age groups love to have them. But we also know that they are not good for our health. So much that they even occasional pinging can be harmful for our health. So let's see what science has to say. You can count on science to ruin everything. We were discussing even yesterday also. The science has created a lot of disasters rather than anything productive. The very good example is now see we that has put entire world into verge of extinction and devastation. Just in 300 years, without science, the planet could survive billions and billions of years. And with this modern science, entire world is into verge of destruction and devastation. And thanks to science to ruin everything and taking us to path of ruin everything is modern science. And what science says, the science says that junk foods are full of calories, fat, and excess sodium, and having it even once can be bad for your health. This is what science says. And based on the scientific knowledge, only we are consuming so much of burgers. That means we are inviting a lot of junk, fat and energy, which otherwise are not consumed because of our sedimentary work. It will cause a lot of lifestyle disorders. For example, a single hamburger contains 500 calories, 25 grams of fat, 40 grams of carbs, 10 grams of sugar, and 1000 milligrams of sodium, which is enough to cause havoc in your system. After 15 minutes of your first bite of hamburger, you will experience a massive surge of glucose. This triggers the release of insulin, which makes you feel hungry, and again in a few hours. Repeating this pattern can increase the risk of diabetes. India has become diabetes capital of India, or for the matter, diabetes capital of the world, because of lot of consuming these puffs, burgers, pizzas. You know, we have also become hypertension capital of world, diabetes capital of world, and whatnot. Thanks to all these modern scientific, these products through innovations and food that we are becoming a very good consumers, loyal consumers to the hospital industry and health industry, putting our health at all and taking it for it all. So, in scientific terms, what we are talking is the process of taking excessive calories in one sitting puts oxidative stress on cells. Having a meal high, which is loaded with saturated fat, can be harmful to your health. When a group of healthy men were fed with food high in saturated fat, it is found that their arteries were significantly impaired and did not dilate as much. So, this restriction of blood flow can lead to cardiac diseases later in life. So, the highest amount of sodium can have a negative impact on the blood vessel. So, next time you have the temptation to grab a burger, think twice. You are putting yourself at a high risk when you are consuming these junk food. A lot of people are young people are you know uh, falling prey or having these cardiac diseases. The young population are dying due to these cardiac problems, mainly due to of this all these junk food, burgers, pizzas, all these excessive consumption of wheat for that matter. People have a false propaganda that eating rice will make you fat or something, that, but actually there are a lot of studies also, even consuming, because these are all seasonable and based on the climatic conditions. North areas are generally cool areas. I mean, that weather is different from south. There is a difference between north and south, east and west. Where you need excess of calories to be a normal. North has excessive consumption of this wheat and potatoes, other things. But south, when you look at the south, now you have more of these cereals and rice and pulses, vegetables, which are there is a difference between every place because availability of local, crops and weather conditions that fosters crop conditions and soil. Ignoring all these, we are consuming the junk from everywhere. You just pick up due to this propaganda, a lot of propaganda that goes on, you know, the kind of promotion that makes us, to persuade the idea, concept, and go for the spying spree. If you have observed opening YouTube uh, or for that matter, any ads, you can see these chicken ads or something which is causing lot of climate change, adding to the gases, but it is widely promoted. Now we talk about lot of taking measures to combat climate change. The only major thing is like controlling the promotion and controlling the animal agriculture on a commercial scale, not on domestic scale. On a commercial scale, which is producing lot of methane gas, cattle farming and all those things, and meat. A lot of to consume meat, we are using lot of resources, lot of water, lot of crops, which are becomes the food for the these meat, to feed these hens or chicks for that matter, and goats, and even for these buffaloes, ox, cows, all these food which is otherwise consumed by humans, these are being diverted to the feeding animals so that their meat can be consumed. 1 kg of meat for that matter, you will finish it off in a 1 meal or 2 meal. You know how much of agriculture produce goes to raise one full lamb or one full goat or sheep or hen or for a cock or a chicken for that matter. How many cages or how many liters in their life cycle it takes. So lot of resources are being wasted, for our greed. We can survive happily without meat, but having that preference is causing lot of pollution, lot of gas emissions, and creating lot of wastage of natural resources, which otherwise, if being vegan, could have saved. And a lot of people are suffering from malnutrition, undernutrition, overnutrition, and many hunger deaths are happening across the world. Instead of having one meal with meat, you can feed the same meal. You can provide the same ingredients, the rice, the cereals to a family, which they can happily live for 1 week, or for that matter, one fortnight or 1 month. See how unsustainable practices we are using. We are consuming that consumption of meat is increasing day by day. People are consuming more meat, that is inviting more problems, more health issues. There is nothing wrong in consuming meat, but where will that energy, where will that calories go? These were useful when when we all were doing this hard work. People like farm workers, or construction workers, where or these workers who used to uh, break the stones, those kind of hard works where they were doing that. At that time it was very much required because they needed lot of energy also. Even for that matter, the and the other choice is based on the availability of food, because uh, the cereals and other producing them also were not available. So whatever was available, they were consuming. So even that meat, especially meat, they were not commercial meat which they were consuming. They were raising naturally in their backyards, or some hens, goats as part of that, and they were consuming that, as a food source. So this nowadays you see lot of promotions, Every YouTube ad before that you see, or for that matter, any videos or any pages you open, you see how they tempt you to consume meat. So that means these people are indirectly creating lot of uh, these unsustainable practices and unsustainable development models. One side we all are talking, United Nations and governments are promoting and talking, creating awareness in reducing these issues and addressing these issues, and other side these people are least bothered about the climate change, or they want just their business to go and make huge billions and billions of profits. No, their lifetime is also same as ours, but their greed, their the kind of greed they have, making millions and millions of rupees, trillions of rupees at the cost of natural resources, at the cost of climate change, at the cost of these greenhouse gas emissions, at the cost of pollution. They are only earning huge profits, but the entire world, every citizen, every living being, non-living being, every animal is paying for that. So we have to be very conscious. It's not that the karma we are going to pay. Now we are paying uh, because of these extreme droughts or extreme floods, extreme hurt. Uh, though some are not consuming meat, but they are also paying. So this is what happens if we think that, okay, it will not happen to us, then life has numerous ways to teach that it will also happen to you or me, or for the matter to all of us on one day or some other day. Today, climate change is affecting everyone. There is no one who can say, I am not affected by the climate change. A lot of crops are being infected by pests. A lot of new pests are uh, due to these weather conditions and change. Today, you can see a lot of rainwater flooded with all the rivers and other things. A lot of diarrhea, malaria, dysenteries. A lot of, especially in the raining season, now we can see a lot of malaria, dengue, dysenteries. A lot of cases are coming up. Huge burden on this system. So these are all different aspects of consuming this junk food and as well as unhealthy food. For that matter, how it has become unhealthy, because the kind of fat, the kind of energy it generates, or the kind of calories intake, where we are not doing that kind of work, where we can spend those calories, those energy. That is only problem. If you are really hard working, then there is nothing wrong in consuming, because you will be spending that energy back. Otherwise, you will start accumulating them, and it turns into fat, and that creates a lot of problems again. So there is nothing wrong in consuming as such, thinking positively, constructively, but you need to do hard work. But now whatever we are presently doing is sedimentary work that doesn't require so much of calories, so much of energy. And that is also not easy to digest. It takes at least 1 to 2 days to digest meat, to its breaking down its to minute things. So 2 days you will be consuming so much continuously, and that waste gets accumulated as toxins and whatnot. Why this is all required? Just the basic simple logic is on the taste buds on the tongue. If you just have some hot tea or milk, and all taste buds are paralyzed for some time, and you eat whatever you eat, you will appreciate. Otherwise, if you have a normal, I think the best suggestion I can give to everyone, including myself, is just have some hot tea or milk before you consume food, so that your families are so happy. That otherwise you keep complaining salt is less or spice is more or whatnot. The taste is not good. This is not good. Only because this taste buds on the tongue, we are creating lot of pollution, lot of hunger deaths. We are indirectly responsible to lot of hunger deaths, preferring from the meat and meat products, which otherwise could be. the raw products or the inputs like cereals, the rice, wheat, whichever the uh, raw materials which are used for these animals to raise for the meat can be used by the human beings, which can address the hunger issues and which can reduce hunger deaths and which can address the malnutrition or undernutrition. They will get the adequate products, I mean nutrition with this consumption of these things. So we are indirectly, by choosing meat, we are indirectly depriving the benefits of our fellow citizens. If we understand that, if we are conscious about that, then definitely we need to get away with this meat consumption. And also, try to, if you are not able to overcome or get away with meat consumption, at least reduce it or reduce the quantity each time. You know, if you just take very less quantity or try to uh, reduce the number of times you are consuming and number of grams you are consuming, so that this will demand will come down and that same resources are used for people who otherwise are dying of hunger, otherwise are having lot of this nutritional undernutrition, malnutrition, or for that matter sometimes because of the selective preferences in food, we are not adequately nutrition because of the food not having balanced food. Either we consume one or other foods which we like more, so that also sometimes causes nutrition deficiency. Some nutrients are more and some nutrients are inadequate, so that will create a difference nutritional deficiency disorders. So all these are contributing to these, which will affect the development process. And you can see uh, people uh, tend to spend more amount on these medical and health facilities, and they are not productive. They keep, they keep suffering from, physical and psychological issues due to these illness, diseases, disorders, and due to discomfort, and the productivity also comes down. And the work hours, the man hours or woman hours for that matter, their production also comes down, their productivity level also comes down, so the nation also loses its income and wealth. So, and because of these unsustainable practices, lot of development pollution is created and natural resources are exploited and future generations opportunities are deprived. So always have positive, I mean, with the best choices available, have an informed decision while you're consuming, reduce the meat. In fact, if I have to take a decision, I will never touch the meat again, thinking, the kind of misery, the kind of people dying with hunger deaths. At least if I stop taking meat once, so I can feed one week or 1 month for that matter with the same resources inputs that goes into uh, raising a meat. So these kind of conscious models which are sustainable need to be widely promoted. So you have seen, I mean, we have seen how this uh, consuming of these junk foods like burgers and other things cause serious health issues. So we shall conclude that, and so try to avoid as much as junk as possible unless and until you are doing heavy work. Nowadays we all are moved to automation, and we need not even move around to switch on or switch off. Now our Alexa is doing or our Siri is doing with voice commands, 24 hours monitoring us, and even with the mobiles and remotes, we are operating all these household and security things. So we are becoming lazy day by day. Physical activities coming down, and we have restrictive uh, body movements, that is also limiting the flexibility. Otherwise, if we do household work, we will have all the movements, every part of the body is mobilized so that there is a free movement and flexibility. Otherwise, with restricted and limited movements, what happens? Suddenly, if you take an movement which is not a routine, now your muscle or your nerve will get stuck there. And now, and what will happen? So again, you have to consult a doctor. So this will happen because of this restricted or limited movements. The body is not flexible in every way it should be. These household chores, for that matter, are the very good, opportunity to have a complete mobility, flexibility in our uh, human body. Otherwise, the other exercise that gives complete mobility is swimming. The swimming is the best exercise that anyone can do. That also puts every muscle, every bone, every nerve into action. So make sure if you are not able to do any other activity, take up swimming and be cautious about some people are allergic or some people, cannot stay some more time in water. So make sure you restrict your time and based on one's body, type and other things. And if you are asthmatic or allergic, make sure you consider all the aspects carefully. And swimming can be one more such activity which can help you improve your flexibility and mobility within your body. Otherwise, other activities include dancing. Dancing also, don't go for restricted again. No, it should be a free dance that should help you to mobilize, or for that matter, uh, put all the joints and all the entire body and body parts into action. See, the basic principle here is you do whatever you want, but make sure you are having the 360 degrees or the complete flexibility of your body so that it keeps flexible. Otherwise, what happens with restricted mobility and restricted movements, other parts of the body become rigid and that will create problems. So the basic principle lies there. Whatever you choose wisely so that you stay fit. So let's move on to now the last commemoration, that is this entire month is being celebrated as breastfeeding month, and how that is contributing to uh, this sustainable development. So just give me a moment. Yeah. So let's look into how, as hope we all know about sustainable development goals. Uh, Otherwise, also I will now, because anyway we have to see how breastfeeding is contributing to the sustainable development goals. You know, we will also compare each goal and how it can be achieved through breastfeeding, uh, so that we will know how breastfeeding is a boon for not only just mother and child, but is also a great boon for the entire planet. So let's see how breastfeeding is a key and is essential for the sustainable development. As you all know, we all know that sustainable development goals are 17 in total, and I will just give you the list. Different 17 goals. Goal number 1: end poverty in all its forms everywhere. Goal number 2: end hunger, achieve food security and improve nutrition and promote sustainable agriculture. Goal 3, ensure healthy lives and promote well-being for all at all ages. Goal 4, ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. Goal 5, achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls. Goal 7, ensure access to affordable, reliable, sustainable and modern energy for all. Goal 8, promote sustained and inclusive and sustainable economic growth, full and productive employment and decent work for all. And goal number 9, build resilient infrastructure, promote inclusive and sustainable industrialization and foster innovation. Goal number 10, reduce inequality within and among countries. Goal number 11, make cities and human settlements inclusively safe and resilient and sustainable. Ensure goal number 12, ensure sustainable consumption and production patterns. Goal number 13, take urgent action to combat climate change and its impacts. Goal number 14, conserve and sustainably use oceans, seas, and marine resources for sustainable development. And goal number 5, protect, restore, and promote sustainable use of terrestrial ecosystems, sustainably manage forests, combat desertification, and halt and reverse land degradation, and halt biodiversity loss. And goal number 16, promote peaceful and inclusive societies for sustainable development, provide access to justice for all, and build effective, accountable, and inclusive institutions at all levels, strengthen the means of implementation, and revitalize the global partnership of sustainable development. So these are the 17 goals. Hope I missed one or two goals. Anyway, I will, if I am not wrong. Anyway, we'll just again look into this 17, because anyway in each goal I have to, I will be discussing on how breastfeeding is contributing to each goal. So if anything is missed from 17, you can just remind me. So yeah, coming to the first goal, end poverty in all its forms everywhere. Breastfeeding is free, so there is no investment required. It is naturally, it's a boon for mothers who, and there is abundant breast milk available, which is highly nutritious and delicious, and also abundant in nature, and also of highest purity and quality. So there is no need of resources. That as breast milk is free, abundantly available with the mother for the child adequately required in most of the cases. So there is no, again, if you buy formula milk, or for that matter any other milk that can be used as a food, you again you need to invest some amount to buy milk or such products. For example, formula milk, if you want to buy, you need some funds for that. So that may not be always affordable for everyone. So again, it will cause poverty. So breastfeeding is a natural and low cost way, in fact a no cost way of feeding babies and children, and it is affordable for everyone and does not burden household budgets compared to artificial feeding. Breastfeeding contributes to poverty reduction. So you can see there is no additional investment required and no additional capital or no additional expenditure, because it's freely, widely available. So it helps families to maintain their economical status without any additional burden, because it's freely, abundantly available at that high quality of food for the infant. It is available freely and adequately. So there is no additional expenditure or investment or finances required. So this is helping and in fact contributing to the poverty reduction. So first goal can be achieved through breastfeeding. And let's look at the second goal, end hunger, achieve food security, and improve nutrition and promote sustainable agriculture. Let's see how breastfeeding is contributing to the goal number 2. So, exclusive breastfeeding and continued breastfeeding for 2 years and beyond provide high quality nutrients and adequate energy and can help prevent hunger, undernutrition, and obesity. So, breastfeeding also means food security for the infants. We can see we have a lot of food security schemes, to continuously make the food uh, uh, available to all people at all times based on their food preferences. This is what known as, in short, food security for all. So the infant also needs continuous access to food all the times, which is highly nutrient, highly balanced to meet adequate nutrient requirements of that particular age. So breastfeeding provides continuous high quality nutrients and adequate energy and immunity so that it can prevent undernutrition or overnutrition or malnutrition for that matter, and it also provides food security for the infants, so thus contributing to second goal, that is end hunger, achieve food security and improve nutrition and promote sustainable agriculture. See, one more thing is, here there is no need of any agriculture. I mean, no inputs and no pollution, no wastage, no investment, because the mother itself is producing the breast milk, or herself, sorry, herself is producing milk. Otherwise, what happens? You need to raise cows, buffaloes, and whatnot. You need to animal farming, and again, you need to raise animals for that to get milk. Or even if you take plant milk, also you need to raise so many plants, and from the seeds you extract milk. So, lot of agriculture is required. Otherwise, lot of huge investment, again deforestation, again lot of inputs also, like seeds and investment and man hours, or for that matter women hours, I mean working hours, and you need again you need natural resources like water and sunlight. Otherwise also other alternative mechanisms to raise these no milk yielding crops, or otherwise to feed animals, and animals has to be again maintained, and you need to get milk from animal or make powder, formula powder from that animals. Lot of agriculture activities, that this entire gamut of activity is simply reduced just by promoting breastfeeding. So this is very sustainable. You don't need any deforestation. An entire process is eliminated if you just breastfeed your baby for 2 years or more, and that will give entire immunity power, or essential nutrients, no, for your baby for the lifelong. Otherwise, breastfed. There are many studies which shows that the infants who are breastfed and who are not breastfed, those who are not breastfed are vulnerable to so many things, not only just physiological, or even at psychological lack of trust, lack of attachment towards parents, because breastfeeding provides a lot of transfer of exposure and reciprocation of emotions, and the kind of relationship, fostering of mother and child relationship. A lot of things happens, that all is missed. So every mother should ensure that for is, is a better her better interest of the child, and not to forgive or forgo the benefits of the child. Every mother should feed their babies for at least 2 years, minimum 2 years. I mean, till 6 months, there is no other choice. Any choice that you are taking is risking your infant's life in various aspects. That is proven research also. And also, you continue to feed breast milk as long as you are able to, and along with the substitutes from 6 months. So this will help your baby Otherwise visiting hospitals, frequently getting ill, all this can be avoided with simple breastfeeding, which is completely free, completely natural, highly pure, and one of highly quality. So this through this activities, the goal number 2 is met, can be met. And coming to goal number 3, ensure healthy lives and promote well-being for all at all ages. As already discussed, breastfeeding significantly improves the health, development, and survival of infants and children. It also contributes to improved health and well-being of the mothers, both in short and long term. So by breastfeeding, it not only helps mothers and infants, to meet adequate nutrition, but also prevents cancers in mothers and well-being of mothers as well as infants. So through these activities, you can we can meet the goal 3, that is ensuring healthy lives and promote well-being for all at all ages, because breastfed children are healthy and are very strong, or resistance to lot of diseases, and they are also having good immunity and resistance towards diseases or illness. So lifelong at all ages, by breastfeeding children till 2 years, it will help them, protect them, and provide them their well-being at all ages till they are alive. So coming to goal number 4, ensuring inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. Breastfeeding and adequate complementary feeding are fundamentals for readiness to learn. When we are having adequate nutrition, and food will be first in a comfortable position, and also to concentrate and to uh, have this kind of chemicals that is being released, and the kind of concentration, and the for cognitive process, the nutrients are very essential for that matter. So these breastfeeding provides all the adequate nutrients, and also the satisfaction of having food or consumed food to the fullest. That also provides calmness and readiness to learn. And breastfeeding and good quality complementary foods also contribute to the mental and cognitive development, thus promoting learning, thus contributing to the inclusive and equitable quality education, and promoting lifelong learning opportunities for all. And also, irrespective of any gender, this gender equality is also achieved. So that is goal number 5, achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls. So through breastfeeding, irrespective of whether infant is a boy or girl, it is a great opportunity and equalizer, giving every child a fair and a best start in life. Whether irrespective of a boy or a girl infant, they get equal opportunities, to be breastfed, and if they are breastfed equally, up to 2 years or more, they get a unique right for their right to health and right to well-being, and all those equal opportunities, and they should be supported by mother and their family and by the society to breastfeed optimally. And the breastfeeding experience can be satisfying and empowering for the mother, and as she is in control how she feeds her baby. So this is in this way we can also empower all the girls and women without any gender discrimination, promoting gender equality. And coming to goal number 6, ensuring availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation for all. See, here also, when we are using formula milk or other, we need water. Without water, we cannot feed the baby. And water is often the culprit for many diseases or illness, or for dysentery, diarrhea, contaminated water. We do not have access to safe water, And if breast milk contains lot of water, so and it is safe, so that you don't need any other additional water consumption. So sustainable management of water here, no water is required, and water is part of breast milk, and it is sufficient for the infant for the next, first 6 months and for the additional period along with the substitutes. So with this, we can also have these less demand for the additional water. Otherwise, what will happen? Breastfeeding on demand provides all the water a baby needs, and even in hot weather or cold weather, doesn't matter, irrespective of weather, breast milk best suits for all seasons, all climatic conditions. On the other hand, for formula milk, if we are feeding the baby with formula milk, feeding requires access to clean, hygiene, and sanitation and water. So again, that is a burden, and accessibility to water is again a big issue now across the world. We are not able to have clean water because we are polluting all the bodies, and glaciers are melting, and they are getting mixed into the ocean. That is, all the fresh water is going waste, are getting mixed into the salty water, which otherwise are known as perennial or life rivers, which are giving us fresh access to water. Even those rivers are also getting polluted by these industries, and extensive use of chemicals, fertilizers on the fields in agriculture, and that is again causing a lot of cancers and other diseases in that, which otherwise infants are vulnerable for a lot of health issues, and again mortality rate will increase. So these all can be avoided with breastfeeding, and providing sustainable water, addressing this sustainable water and sanitation for all. So that in that way, even goal number 6 can be met. And coming to goal number 7, ensure access to affordable, reliable, sustainable, and modern energy for all. These energy, to produce energy, again we need lot of resources, inputs. So breastfeeding entails less energy when compared to the formula production industries, and it also reduces the need for water, firewood, fossil fuels in the home. Breastfeeding needs anything, literally nothing. Otherwise, to produce formula milk, as already discussed, we need cattle, we need to raise cattle, and we need to get the milk from the cattle again, produce. Otherwise, if we are going for plant milk, then we need to produce these plant cereals, or for like badam or soy milk, like this various crops are to be cultivated, and they need to be after yield they need to be harvested, and they need to be transported, cleaned, and milk has to be extracted and has to be packed properly. So much of capital intensive, labor intensive, and lot of and health and hygiene, all is required. Lot of energy is also consumed. You need power, and power generation again needs a lot of resources. See how a simple change in our mindset or attitude, or a simple conscious decision, can contribute a lot to the planet. Like leaving consuming meat, one small decision, it can contribute to sustainable development a lot. It can contribute to planet a lot. And one decision to breastfeed the baby for 2 years, see how much you are contributing to the planet. So a small informed decision. That's why we keep on doing these awareness programs, to create more awareness, so that at least by continuous this thing, because lot of promotion happens, crores and crore rupees are put on ads. We are not able to come up with so inquisitive ads, and because that again needs a lot of human resources coming together, contributing to the cause, and we don't have that kind of financial resources also, where we can make such lucrative ads, putting crores and crores of rupees to get business. So What we can do is we continuously keep bringing on awareness so that we know what we are doing and how we can contribute to ourselves and our own family. So these are the ways which we can address and ensure access to affordable, reliable, sustainable and modern energy for all. And coming to goal number 8, promote sustained, inclusive and sustainable economic growth, full and productive employment and decent work for all. Breastfeeding women who are supported by their employers are more productive and loyal because they also understand the needs and you know of the mother and the child. So the more loyalty. When people care for us, we also care for them. We also are very loyal to them when they are loyal to us. So that increases more productive, and we are otherwise mothers, especially nursing mothers or breastfeeding mothers, they are concerned about their child and about the requirements, and they are not so productive. For that matter, anyone can be even so by addressing the issues and understanding and supporting mothers where at workplaces, so that will help not only to boost the productivity but also loyalty. And maternity protection and other workplace policies can enable women to combine breastfeeding and their other work or employment. So decent jobs should cater to the needs of breastfeeding women, especially those in precarious situations. So by bringing out little changes, small changes, we're having a breastfeeding room or a crèche nearby industries, or for that matter, if there are a good amount of women who are nursing or breastfeeding, by providing little bit services, you can know you can get a very good amount of productivity and fostering the mother and child health and well-being, and that will also improve the goodwill of the company or for the organization or for the management, and it improves the loyalty and also productivity at all levels, promoting both health and well-being of child and mother. So in this way we can also meet the goal of promoting sustainable, inclusive and sustainable economic growth. At the same time, by supporting them, uh, they need not stay away from the employment. They can continue their employment, and making little bit changes or modification at the workplace. They can happily continue with their breastfeeding by giving them considering breaks in between, so that baby needs frequent breastfeeding at least at times, depending on the age of the baby, every hour or so. So giving a time, breaks in between, that will help the mother to reach out to child and breastfeed. So that also helps promotes the productive and full employment and decent working conditions for all and work for all. And goal number 8, to build resilient infrastructure, promote inclusive, sustainable industrialization and foster innovations. With this industrialization and urbanization, the time and space challenges became more prominent. The uh, uh, the industries, for that matter, are not so friendly, to except for industrial work, they are not so friendly for other practices. So even for breastfeeding mothers who work outside their home need to manage their challenges, and need to be supported by employers, their own families and communities. Like as already mentioned, crèches or play these some play schools or some caregivers near workplace, or and having these lactation rooms and breastfeeding breaks can make a big difference, and which will also help promote inclusive and sustainable industrialization, where women are not left out, or get their equal opportunities. And also it fosters innovation, that new methods can be brought up, new strategies can be put, new policies are put in place, so that it promotes the breastfeeding and also sustainable development of and well-being of both mother and child. And coming to goal number 10, reduce inequality within and among countries. You know, breastfeeding practices differ across the globe. Breastfeeding needs to be protected, promoted, and supported among all, but in particular among poor and vulnerable groups, because they get into more of this debt poverty trap, for the need of buying this formula milk or for additional milk, which they forgo breastfeeding. So the breastfeeding need to be protected, promoted, and supported among all within the country and outside the country to reduce inequalities. So coming to goal number 11, make cities and human settlements inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable. In the bustle of big cities, breastfeeding mothers and their babies need to feel safe and welcome in all public spaces. Then nowadays, we, especially in public urban areas, we are become, mischievous, notorious also at times. They're generally breastfeeding is quite natural. No need to stare at a mother who is breastfeeding her child. And this was quite common even earlier in this earlier where there was no such cities also, that mother is feeding her child. What's there to stare or look or have a gaze at the things that makes both the mother and child uncomfortable, and mother avoids feeding the child when required in public places. There should be, we should have some common sense, right? Every mother has a right to feed her baby, and what's wrong in that? Why someone has to look or someone has to have a concern or an objection for that, that which causes a mother a discomfort, or a kind of feeling that she cannot feed her child. This is quite natural. Even every mother, it may be bird or it may be animal, for that matter it may be human being, has every right to feed their babies. So we should also change our attitudes, mindsets toward that, and we should encourage, in fact promote, even in public spaces, in public transportation also. We should try to help them. In fact, we should make it more common, and also if privacy is required and a kind of comfort, not everyone is so comfortable, so it depends on the individuals, and if they require some sort of privacy also, we should be able to provide them privacy. So that will also help to promote these inclusive, and pregnant and lactating women need particular support during such times. So we should be very conscious so that we make cities and human settlements inclusive, so that all women can feel safe, so that they can be resilient and they can be sustainable with their practices of breastfeeding and others. So we need to have such provisions at the time of town planning, at the time, even after town planning or even after construction, even after settlements are to be friendly, breastfeeding friendly. So through that we can achieve goal number 11 and meet it. And goal number 2, ensure sustainable consumption and production patterns. See, this is also very important. Breastfeeding provides a healthy, viable, non-polluting, non-resource intensive, sustainable and natural source of nutrition and sustenance. Now, as we have already discussed, breast milk is available free, abundant, and the appropriate and adequate nutrients are provided to the child, which are essential for the infant. No additional request, no additional resources are required. No additional inputs or outputs are required. No additional agriculture or farming is required. So through this breastfeeding, we can ensure sustainable consumption. It is available all the time adequately. So continuous production pattern and breast milk is produced every day, every time, adequate to infants most of the time. There are exceptional cases. We do then, those are exceptional only, but in general, adequate milk is produced. There are certain exceptional cases where there might be no milk or adequate milk may not be produced. That is an exceptional case we can also consider, but in general, their breastfeeding provides a healthy and viable, non-polluting, non-resource intensive, sustainable and natural source of nutrients and sustenance which can meet ensuring sustainable consumption and production. And coming to goal number 13, take urgent action to combat climate change and impacts. With these, as already discussed, industrialization to produce this formula milk or supplement food, and also this animal farming, which create a lot of methane gas, and also consumption of crops, which otherwise could be used for human beings as a to provide nutrition and to prevent hunger deaths. All these requires huge. These all are creating a lot of greenhouse gas emissions, carbon dioxide emissions, and methane gas emissions. These are, aggravating the climate change and its impacts. So, with breastfeeding, we can safeguard infants' health and also nutrition in times of adversity, not only in normal days, but also in times of adversity and weather-related disasters due to global warming. No matter what, uh, 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 mother is mother can produce breast milk as long as in spite of having these climate changes or whether it is too hot too cold, at all the times or at all the even at the time of disasters also, when something happen, it is not affected, the supply and demand is not affected. Mother can produce at all times at all the conditions, so that will ensure that the climate change and its impact is not affected on the breast milk. Of course, it still affects, but that is in a very subtle way to understand. But in general, when we are talking, breastfeeding safeguards the infant health and nutrition in times of adversity and weather-related disasters due to global warming, and also in general situation. So this meets the goal number 13 and can be achieved through these breastfeeding. And goal number 14, conserve and sustainably use of oceans, seas, marine resources for sustainable development. See what happens, with this industrial activity, agricultural activity, lot of waste, solid waste, liquid waste, and biomedical waste, everything. You see, lot of plastic watch, which we all are using, lots of uh, pesticides and other things we are using, they are getting into water and they are getting into oceans, and the oceans, half of the oceans are almost filled with this our waste, plastics and all these are causing huge loss to the biodiversity and to the life in the ocean seas, which is marine life and marine resources, due to which this ecosystem gets disturbed and marine life gets disturbed, and it causes lot of again these climate changes and issues, and also a great threat for the marine life, disturbs the ecosystem biodiversity, and because of this formula milk, making of this formula milk on a lot. So by choosing breastfeeding entails less water. There is no water required other than what the mother consumes. No, there are adequate requirements, essential requirements. Breastfeeding entails less water or no water for that matter compared to formula feeding, and industrial formula production and distribution leads to waste that pollutes the seas and affects the marine life. So this can be avoided. See, with a small decision, how much we can contribute to the planet. So for that, we need to create a lot of awareness. Many people, many of us don't know many things. We know many things, but at the same time, we don't know many things, which otherwise could make a lot of difference. And coming to goal number 15, protect, restore, and promote sustainable use of terrestrial ecosystems. sustainably manage forests, combat desertification, and halt and reverse land degradation, and halt biodiversity loss. You know, with this again intensive agriculture, intensive animal farming, intensive industrialization, lot of deforestation happens, and destruction of ecosystems, and desertification happens, and land degradation, and biodiversity loss. All these are happening. So by choosing breastfeeding, we can avoid all these things, because breastfeeding is an ecological compared to the formula feeding, and formula production implies dairy farming, agriculture, deforestation, and often puts pressure on natural resources and contributes to the carbon emissions and climate change. So by choosing, breastfeeding, these all can be avoided. Otherwise, to produce a formula milk or formula food. And goal number 16, promote peaceful and inclusive societies for sustainable development, provide access to justice for all, and build effective, accountable, and inclusive institutions at all levels. So breastfeeding is an enshrined in many human rights frameworks. Every mother has a right to feed child, and every infant has a right to get his adequate nutrients. Right to life is also there for both mother and child. So human rights needs to be protected, and wherever it is required, even in public or private, it is the right of the infant, and it is right of the mother to feed the baby, and it should be quite normal, and we should also support instead of gazing or instead of staring at of such act and making mothers uncomfortable. We should also act with some common sense, and thinking this is a quite natural to feed mother baby, and their rights are protected and promoted even in public places. Like we also feel hungry and we need to be fed, and the baby also need to be fed, so we need to support them. Breastfeeding is enshrined in many human rights frameworks and conventions, and national legislation and policies to protect and support breastfeeding mothers and babies are needed to ensure that their rights are upheld. So with this, at a personal level, at a community level, at an institutions level, we should build effective, accountable, and inclusive policies, programs at all levels. And coming to the last goal, strengthening the means of implementation and revitalize the global partnership for sustainability. Okay, we have all policies, acts, everything in place, but unless and until they are implemented, they are supported, they are promoted, we cannot achieve them. In a similar way, the global strategy for the infant and young child feeding, in short GSI by CF, fosters multi-sectorial collaboration and can build upon various partnerships for support of development through breastfeeding programs and initiatives. So there is we have also discussed in the first week of August, a lot of breastfeeding initiatives, networks at global level, national level, at a local level also, how breastfeeding is being promoted, and the breastfeeding rate is coming up because women who are working, they are leaving their babies and they are feeding with formula milk, and that is lifelong potentials are taken for a toss, you know, and the child is vulnerable and the mother is vulnerable. And so we need to sacrifice certain things for the cost of our lives, our child's life. 1 2 years if we lose also, then that is nothing going to lose when we compare the loss that is going to be affected for the entire life of the child, or even for that matter by managing, by creating more awareness at workplaces where women are allowed to breastfeed their children and infants. They are facilities to accommodate infants in the workplaces. We all need to do a lot of work on this ground so that we can create more sustainable workplaces. So with this, we conclude, and we can see how beautifully with small decision we can contribute to the sustainable development. So with this, we shall conclude today's session, and we request you to promote breastfeeding and ensure that child rights are also protected. And as long as the mother can provide breast milk, let's continue it. Even if it is beyond 2 years, also there is nothing wrong to breastfeed, along with the supplement food, healthy supplementary food. So with this, we shall conclude here. Thank you everyone for patiently listening. And if you have any queries, you can share in chat box, and feedback link is being shared. Registration link has already been shared. So kindly find the feedback link. It's shared in the chat box. Quickly fill up the feedback form before you leave. We have shared the feedback link in the chat box, and we are also sharing once again registration link. We are sharing registration link also. So if you are not registered, kindly register. Before or after filling the feedback form, you can also fill the registration form for today's. Kindly fill both the registration form if not registered, and also provide feedback form. It is mandatory for receiving these certificates to be generated so that you can download the certificates. And the National Social Work Week certificates are also been issued. So till day before yesterday, till 23rd, all the weekday certificates have been issued. And generally we take 15 days, but sometimes we issue early also. So till 23rd, all the certificates on weekdays were issued, and only we have these Sundays and this Independence Day are pending. They are also in process. Uh, you know, as I already always mentioned, there is some registration. People join without registration, or uh, there are certain things which delay the process. Otherwise, we can have it as early as possible. So there are certain things we are working on and reminding. Uh, and sometimes, these mails are also which we sent because there is a huge number of registered participants. Daily we are sending mails also sometimes to participants. It may end up in bulk mail or spam mail. So do keep checking that. In case if you miss it, you can respond to them. Otherwise, it's a very simple procedure for everyone. Register for the day event in advance or on that day and attend fully. A minimum 65% of the attendance is required. Initially, it was high. We started reduced to 85 to 75. Now we have put it as 65%. So it's minimum 65% of the total session attendance is required, and you need to fill the feedback form so that the certificates can be generated. Yeah, certificates I will show you. It's not one person. Even if one person is left, you know, the entire process gets stuck, because only once we will generate these certificates. So we will wait. This waiting period is only because of that. Initially, we were giving on the same day, and as and on, because the very first thing is we are very liberal and we are trying to accommodate even last minute submissions also. That is creating, in the process of not letting anyone down, actually we are inviting a lot of troubles for us. That is otherwise if you put a deadline and we cut off at that deadline, that is very easy for all of us. But to accommodate, we are more feasible and friendly. So we are trying to accommodate. That is creating some inconvenience for both of us. If you follow instructions, it's very easy. And we have to bear, there is no other option because to accommodate everyone, let me show you quickly. Uh, okay, we'll check. Just give us a moment. We will show you how to download your certificates. And if you find any issues, let me know. I will also look into that because sometimes, there is a possibility of technical error or human error also because we all are human beings. Sometimes it can go wrong. That's why we are repeatedly giving instructions, sharing instructions also. So let me pull it up. I'm sharing the screen. Just carefully follow the procedure. So this is the website. It's also shared in the chat box. And you open this, type this recast.org and bookmark it. You can add to favorites or bookmark it. Here, just you scroll down and here you can see international webinar series on holistic health and well-being. You can click on these daily webinars, conferences and details. It is taking you to a dedicated website. Here you can see on the left side, weekday schedule. If it is on weekdays, you can select on weekday schedule. If it is on Sundays, Sundays conferences, these are all webinars, these are all conferences. Or for that matter, if earlier there were used to be webinars. So in any case, if you can just see weekdays, say suppose till 23rd we have issued certificates, right? So you go to 23rd August. So July, August. This is Sunday. So August 23rd. So this is the flyer. And here you can see the download link. So you can click on this and download your certificate. So as we have mentioned, those we already told you, informed you that though some people are attending, but they are not registering and they are not providing feedback. So what is happening is, except their name in Zoom, we are not having any details of them. So in spite of attending also, we are not able to issue certificates to them because without any data, we cannot issue. It's like just issuing an Aadhaar card or, or a passport with just name without any details. So that will serve no purpose also for that matter. If for later on, when someone comes back to verification of your certificates, see nowadays every certificate is verified. Either you go for workplace or show it in your university also, they send certificates for verification and we will not be able to verify because we ourselves will not have them. So it is, don't think that, it's waste of registering or providing feedback. It is very much important for us tomorrow, when you apply for something and they are sent for verification, you should also be in that database. Otherwise, you can face problems. Yeah, every day you register, that's better. It's just a minute work. Otherwise, also it's fine, but you always register. That will help us also. Otherwise, what happens? If you are registered long back, the registration form is same only. But if you register daily, that will be good for you and for us also as well. Otherwise, also it's fine. But as a good practice, you register daily also. So till 23rd, all certificates are there updated. You can download it. And we are processing these Sundays also. But there are some uh, inadequacies we have found out, and uh, we have contacted participants and also some speakers. Once that is resolved, now we will also issue them. We'll working on them. So otherwise, there is also some easy procedure also where we have worked out, because some people are too much confused with all these things. It's very simple. Only thing is, we are in fixed mindsets always, so that's create lot of problem for us. Otherwise, you can see just below calendar. Now you can see this IWS HHWBSD. It's in short form for International Webinar Series on Holistic Health Wellbeing. You can click on this just below this, and here you can find the calendar. Here it is not updated in this site. There is a micro site, one more site. Here you can find the link. Just click on that. It will take you to entire schedule. I mean, entire all the days are listed on a single page. Here also you can just go to the link, and this is a much more easier way, appealing look otherwise. However, both are same only. This is also navigation. Here also you can see easily access. The 24th, today's is not updated till 24th. You can see the flyer and you can download yesterday's. You can just go there, 23rd now. You can click on it, and just below this flyer you can see the link. This is also one easy option. See, whatever feedback we are getting, whatever, don't think that your feedback will go waste, or we are listening always, but not everything can be implemented, because sometimes the suggestions can be quite contradictory. Some may like, some may doesn't like that implementation. So it is very difficult. Even as a household also, it is very difficult to please everyone in the family in a similar way. So whatever best we can do, we are doing within the available time and resources. So even for upcoming also, you can see 28th conference is there. You can click on that, and there is a registration form. You can register in advance. If you want to present also, the details required are mentioned. You can register. After registering, send your details. So inform us well in advance for upcoming conferences every Sunday. You can see in September till 18th, the themes have been decided and shared. You can just click on September 18th also. You plan in advance if you are presenting, or if you also want to participate also, you can register now. You will get an email with all the details. The themes are part of this title only, and many were requesting to have themes on information technology, computer science. So I thought we are mostly working related to social sciences, health sciences, medical sciences. We thought, okay, let's see how we can link up these computer sciences, information sciences, data sciences, and Internet of Things and various other things to sustainable development and how they can help this climate change and all that. So we have two conferences, especially September 11th and September 18th, dedicated to all the IT engineering. Also, they can also join along with the humanities, social sciences, life sciences, medical sciences. It's a very good opportunity, and all are multidisciplinary conferences. So register now and share these links. All are available on the website, and we have also shared in the Facebook group, Telegram channel, and also in the WhatsApp groups. So if you are part of that, register for all the conferences and share that message whoever would like to present. So with this, even if you visit here also, there is a direct link here. This third link is will take you here, but here it will take some time. We have not updated in this page, but on other microsite, as I have informed here, here it is mentioned as schedule. We will also update this as schedule once this is done. You can just click here, same third link here. Sorry, fourth link. Here you can see all the updated. So you can download. So very simple, register every day, attend, minimum 65% of attendance is required. So join in time at 6 o'clock. And anyway, we have presentation so that you can watch the presentation, what all has happened. That will take any 15 minutes or so. So you can join maximum by 6:15 or 6:20. Actually, this also provides one good opportunity for the new speakers who join. We have very good personalities, emeritus professors and directors of different government organizations joining us and deliberating sessions. So they will also feel some sort of, uh, by looking at all the speakers and sessions we have conducted, they can also have an idea to the participants and presenters. And it's also a kind of gratitude we express daily. We only come once or twice to present, but every day we also express our gratitude through this by uh, expressing our gratitude and showing that these all people, kind-hearted people came and contributed to this Azadi Kamrat Mahotsav and given us also opportunity. At the same time, we also could give you opportunity to participate, present. So thank you once again, one and all. So see you all tomorrow at the same time. Try to join by 6:15 or 6:20 max. We'll be starting. And try to stay till end and fill the feedback form. Every day we'll be sharing the registration link uh, till last 15 minutes of the session so that you can register. And at the end of the session, we'll be sharing feedback link also. And attendance is anyway taken by the Zoom platform. We'll compare the three and issue the certificates. So thank you once again, everyone. See you all. Take care. Good night. And the proceedings, final in the proceedings, generally we are not giving for event to event. What we thought is all the proceedings will bring out volume of a book or books depending on the number of events. No? We'll all bring out all the proceedings, all the credits to participants, speakers, collaborators at the end of Azadi Kamrat Mahotsav, that is August 2023-15. That is official closure of this our Indian government. We have another 1 year left hardly. So we will put all these proceedings will be there, but we are not taking up it now, and we also giving you one more opportunity to all those who have attended but did not fill the registration form or but did not provide the feedback form also, because data is there, attendance is there with us. If you at any time, if you feel that you have attended but you did not complete the formalities, you can uh, complete the formalities also. We will let you know. We will, after this 1.5 year celebrations, for that matter 2 year celebrations also, we will give you opportunity. Whoever has missed it, don't get disappointed or discouraged. We are there to help you only. Only thing is you need to be communicating with respect, dignity, and you know, collaboration, cooperation, patience. We are there to help you only, uh, because there is no commercial interest or anything in this platform. We are trying to help each other to celebrate and to disseminate information. So even after that also, if you missed also some, if you somewhere attended, missed your certificates also, so we will provide you an option later on where on that day, if you think you kindly make a note of it and keep it for this entire series. So if you just felt that you did not get certificate for that, anyway, we have all the records we are maintaining. And we will provide you an opportunity. Whenever we provide you opportunity, you register for that event and you fill the feedback form also. And later on, we will issue certificate. Even if it is that in August 2023, after 1 year also, you need not worry if you have genuinely attended and because you did not fulfill the criteria, or you have not registered or you have missed the feedback also, we will verify, but it will take some time. We will provide you opportunities now and then in the middle. We are working out on that. So we are ensuring that whoever is attending, they are provided with certificate, but due to technical, these things are there. We have to meet as an organization. As an organizer, we have to follow. So even I have to follow, not only just speaker or participant. We all need to follow so that we all can conduct smoothly. We'll provide you opportunity. We'll not let you down, any one of you down also. It's only matter of time and space. So be patient, keep attending daily and keep promoting our this thing, celebrations. Let's together join and keep promoting. Don't worry about certificates and keep attending genuinely, humbly. We will try to help you. And at other, as I mentioned, in future also, if you have missed something also, we'll provide opportunity to get your certificates also. At that time, we will consolidate after this conclusion of all events. We will also get some time, we will open a window, grievance window or concerns window, where we genuine things are always looked in a very humanitarian way. And we any certificates any are missed now, we will issue that after verifying all these things. So thank you once again. Thanks for being with us. See you all tomorrow. Take care. Good night.